Primary key. In this video, we will learn what is primary key, how to create primary key using create table, how to create primary key using alter table, and how to drop primary key. What is primary key? Primary key is a single field or combination of fields that uniquely define a record, and primary key must contain unique values and cannot contain null values. A table can have only one primary key. Let's see the syntax of primary key. Create primary key using create table statement. Here you can see we have a syntax of primary key while creating table. Create table, table name, then column name, data type, and then null or not null, and then primary key. And these are the optional part. When you apply primary key like this, in that case you only can apply primary key on a single column. And if you want to make primary key for multiple columns, so that we will use this syntax. First we will declare all the columns, and at the end we will use constraint name primary key, and in the parenthesis we will write the column names using comma separator. So these column will become primary key in combination. Let's see how can we do this in SQL Server. So I have already logged in SQL Server. So first we will open editor. So click on this, and now we will select database. Alright. Now let's create a new table. Create table person, and inside this ID int primary key, and then name varchar 30. Alright. So create table, table name, and then ID int primary key, and then name, and then varchar. Now select this and execute this. Command completed successfully. Now inside the database, in table, here you can find your person table, and here you can see your column ID, which is primary key. So when you apply primary key on a column, so you will find this key sign in front of that column, and in the key folder you can see the name of the primary key. So we haven't provided the name of primary key, so system has generated its own name, that is alphanumeric name. So let's insert data in this table and let's check the functionality of primary key. So insert into person values 1. Alright. Now select this and execute this. One row affected. Now select star from table. Now select this and execute this. Right? Okay. Now let's insert the same value and change the name for the person table. Now select this and execute this. So now you can see there is an error, violation of primary key constraint pk person. Alright, so you cannot insert duplicate key for this column. Alright, so this is how you can apply primary key on a single column. So if you want to apply primary key on multiple columns, for that what we will do, create table, then table name person 2, and inside this email varchar 20, mobile varchar 10. Now if you want to apply primary key on both columns, it means if you want to make primary key in combination of columns, so what we will do, that constraint pk underscore person, then primary key, and inside bracket we will pass the column name. We will pass the column name. Alright. Now select this and execute this. Command completed successfully. Select table and then refresh this. So here you will find person 2, and inside this you can see the key sign in front of both columns, and here you can see the name of your primary key. So whenever you pass the value into this table, always make sure that primary key works in the combination. Alright. So right now we had just created primary key using syntax. We can apply primary key from here as well. So click on table, then right click and then table. And here we will write the column name. Alright. Then name. Alright, like this, and I remove this allow nulls. And if now I want to apply primary key on this ID column, so select this column, right click, and here you will find set primary key. So select this and then this will become your primary key. Now right click on this tab and then save table, and here I'll give the name test data for this table. So come here on this table and refresh this, and here you will find the column ID and name. So ID has become the primary key. So this is how you can create primary key. Create primary key using alter table. So alter table, table name, add constraint, constraint name, then primary key, then column 1 and column 2, and n number of columns you can pass. So let's see how can we do this in SQL Server. So here we have one table student data, and inside this we have one column ID, and we don't have any key on this table as well. So let's apply primary key on this existing table. So alter table and then table name, student data, add constraint and then constraint name. Alright, and then primary key, and inside this ID. Alright, now select this and execute this. Command completed successfully. Select this table and refresh this, and here you can see this has become primary key, and inside the key folder you can find your key name. Alright, so you can apply primary key on existing table using this query. You can apply it from here as well. So here we have one table course, and inside this we have this column course name, and I want to apply primary key on this column. So what you will do, so select this column, right click, and here you will find modify. Click on this, and now I want to apply primary key on this. So right click on this and set primary key, and right click on the tab and then save. Alright, now select this and refresh this, and here you will find it became primary key. Alright, so this is how you can update primary key on an existing table. Drop primary key. So if you want to drop primary key from existing table, so that we have alter table, table name, drop constraint and constraint name. So let's see how can we do this in SQL Server. So here we had just created primary key on this course table. So if I want to remove it from here, so alter table, table name, drop constraint and then constraint name. So you can drag and drop here. Alright, now select this and execute this. Command completed successfully. Select this table and refresh this. See, your primary key has been removed. Alright, now so you removed constraint using query. You can remove it from here as well. So we had just applied primary key here as well on student data. So here you can see we have key. Right click on this, and here you find delete option. Select this and then OK. Right, now select table and refresh this. So you can find your primary key has been removed. Alright. So what we had learned in this tutorial, we had learned what is primary key and how to apply primary key while creating table and while altering table using query and directly from SQL Server Management Studio tool. And we had also seen how to drop primary key using SQL query and from Management Studio tool as well. Thank you.